Good morning. This is a special edition of Political Paula. And, things have changed a little bit since you last saw me when I was telling you all that, I wasn't panicking at all about the coronavirus. And to the point of me getting it or my husband getting it, I'm still not panicking about that because chances are 90%, 99.9% that we're not going to get it. Or if we get it, it's going to be, oh, we're sick for a couple days. We don't even know we had it. We stay home. We're fine. But something changed on Friday, and it was my own governor here in Pennsylvania, Tom Wolf. Now, in Pennsylvania, it's a little different than other states because I talked to a viewer in another state just this morning. And when she goes on to her public health website, they say how many confirmed cases they have. When I go on to health.pa.gov for my state, they do things a little differently. And this is something that's really important, especially when I tell you the reaction that our governor has had. When I look at the Pennsylvania Health Department status on how many coronavirus cases are actually confirmed in Pennsylvania, confirmed cases, there are 6, and yet our WGAL, our news channel, and everyone else in the world is reporting that we have 47 confirmed cases. That's not true. There are 41 presumptive cases. Now, if you are a smart person, like I consider myself a smart person, if they have a separate category called presumptive tests, those aren't positive and they're not negative. It's called inconclusive. Now, you who have watched my show long enough know that I myself was a victim of a medical Planned Parenthood and Dr. Frank at Planned Parenthood and the staff at Planned Parenthood back in 2006 presumptively telling me I had cervical cancer and trying to treat me like I had cervical cancer because I had one bad pap smear that came back positive. And then they did a biopsy, which was actually, I found out later, unnecessary. This is important to listen to me on this. So the biopsy, I never got a copy, a handwritten copy of what the biopsy actually said. I got a call from Dr. Frank at Planned Parenthood saying, well, based on your biopsy results, we want to do cryosurgery, where they freeze your cervix. There's all kinds of side effects from that, by the way. I said, you know what? I don't really trust what I'm hearing here. First of all, I'm being treated differently than all my other girlfriends who had one positive pap smear in all their lives. I'm 41 years old. I've been with my husband, 18 years. I think I want a second opinion. Thank God I did that because when I switched my records over and actually saw my biopsy results that they did, the biopsy results said tissue insufficient for evaluation, which means they did not find cancer cells in my cervix. Basically, either the biopsy was botched or the original pap smear was a lab mistake, which is what we found out a year later after 4 pap smears and 2 human papillomavirus tests that all came back negative, that this was all a big lab mistake. Now, at the end of the day, I paid $1,500 for the biopsy, which $500 I was reimbursed when I threatened to sue Planned Parenthood. When I found out that they were trying to give me treatment for a disease that the biopsy didn't even show that I had. They never told me that. The other issue was when I went to get health insurance and they saw on my permanent record that I had a bad pap smear in October of 2006, they tried to put a rider on my insurance. You have cervical shit. I'm like, no, I don't. So I had to get my new doctor to say in writing that October 2006 pap smear was a lab error. There's nothing wrong with Paula Luciano. She never had a positive pap smear. Now, pap smears were around forever. This coronavirus test is new. So how do we know these tests are even accurate? How do we know people who don't have the virus are testing positive, or people who do have the virus are testing negative? And why is the news in my town, in Pennsylvania, why are the news saying that we have 47 confirmed cases when the real truth is we only have 6 in the entire state? Because 41 are presumptive, they're presumed, which means the coronavirus test came back. It blew up. But for some reason, presumptive means these people who are presumptive probably need another test, further testing, because something with the test didn't go right. Otherwise, they would have just put them over to the confirmed group, but they didn't do that. And we should be hearing that. The other statistic we should be hearing in Pennsylvania, before Governor Wolf lost his mind, and in several counties has now, the whole state, the schools are closed, but now in some counties, he's closing liquor stores. He's closing bars and restaurants. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. And first of all, by the way, liquor stores are kind of essential, especially in a crisis, because people need to have some alcohol in the house. Our city right now, where I live, we have no known cases, but I'm sure there are cases of coronavirus walking around in my town. Right now, everything's open, but people are losing their minds because of what Governor Wolf did on Friday. Closing all the schools, saying there are 47 cases of coronavirus. Here's what he's not reporting. If you go on the website, pa.health.gov, 450 Pennsylvanians, and we have like 40 million people who live in Pennsylvania. There's a lot of people. It's a big state. 400 people have been tested, and as of today actually, 200, half of the people tested have tested negative. They don't report that on the news. They didn't report that at all. Don't you think it would be nice to know that half of everyone who's being tested has actually tested negative? That's good news. They don't report that. They didn't say a word about that on WGAL, which is the news channel I get my news from. Not anymore. Not anymore. So they don't report that. They don't report that 41 cases are presumptive and 6 are confirmed. Why? Why are we so hell-bent on testing every American citizen? I'm not getting tested. There's no way in hell I'm putting myself out there to get tested by some government test. That's not American. That is not American. I am not going to get tested. If I don't feel well, I'm going to stay home, which is what I always do when I don't feel well. And you know what? Before our governor lost his mind on Friday, I am sure in the last 2 months, there have been people in Pennsylvania who have had the flu, taken a week off work. Hoda Kotb in New York on the Today Show, she was off a week with the flu. Are we sure it was the flu? She had a flu vaccine, but of course the flu vaccine is only 45% effective. But she's fine. She's back at work. Everything's good. But how do we know she didn't have coronavirus? Did she get tested for it? The president supposedly shook hands with someone who now has the coronavirus. He got the test and supposedly is negative. Who knows? Can we trust any member of our government to actually tell us the truth? We can't trust reporters. They seem to get excited every time the number goes up. And I say the number is already fake. There are probably millions of people in our country who have coronavirus. But you know what? They're not freaking out. They're not running to the emergency room because they don't need to. They're not that sick. They don't feel well. They have a fever for a couple of days. They take their ibuprofen. They take their chicken soup. They lay in bed. They watch Netflix. 5 days later, they feel better. They're fine. They're fine. Yet my governor is losing his fucking mind. A Democrat, by the way. And of course, when Democrats start losing their minds, guess what the first thing they think about? How do we manipulate this so we can give more free shit to people who don't earn any shit at all because they don't work. They have kids they can't support. They have kids they can't feed. Well, we saw what happened in Congress. The only thing Nanny Pelosi and Grandpa Chuck Schumer care about is giving people who already get food stamps more food stamps. Because God forbid children should have to depend on their parents to feed them. My governor has just issued an executive order that we don't have to pay our electric bill anymore. We don't have to pay our cable bill, our internet. The cable company, internet company, electric company, gas company, they're not allowed to shut your utilities or your cable or your internet off during this state of emergency with 6 confirmed cases in Pennsylvania, the entire big state. You don't have to pay your bills anymore till the emergency's over. They're not allowed to shut off your shit for not paying your bills. What a message. What a message. I said to my husband, wow, honey, I guess we don't have to pay the bills. Even my husband's company, they have said everybody can work from home for the next week, maybe 2 weeks, who knows. All our schools are closed. That's fine. I don't care about that shit. I don't have kids. I know if I had kids, I'd be losing my mind right now. Oh my God. Got to spend 2 weeks with the kids. Help me. Because most parents don't want to spend time with their children. They like it when school's in session. Please don't close the liquor stores, Governor Wolf, because I'll tell you what, you got spouses stuck at home together for 2 weeks, maybe a month, plus the kids being home from school. People going to need their alcohol. They really are. In fact, you should be selling more alcohol right now, because that's the only way some families are going to get through this shit. Oh my God, we have to spend time together? Not good. So I don't like this attitude that we now have, that government is using this terrible crisis to try to gain more control over us, over our daily activities, over things that, we need. Plus, you also have the fact that in Pennsylvania, and where I live especially, in my city, we already have panicky people. In my town, if there is a forecast for half an inch of snow, store shelves are cleared. There's no milk. There's no eggs. There's no bread. They rush to the grocery store. Oh my God, a half an inch of snow. Oh my God, we have to stock up because what are we going to do? We're going to be homebound. You're going to be homebound for 8 hours, maybe a day. School will be closed for a day. You're not going to starve to death. You're going to be just fine. You don't need to raid the eggs and everything. With coronavirus, which is not a stomach flu, by the way. If it were a stomach flu and you had the diarrhea and shit, I could get this. But here's the funny thing. And I do want to make you laugh a little bit today, because come on, we got to laugh about this. Toilet paper. Who would have ever thought in America that people in America think that if they run out of toilet paper, it's the apocalypse. It's the end of the world. The end times are coming. Jesus is coming. It's going to be the rapture. Let's kill ourselves. We have no toilet paper. Folks, have you ever heard of running water and a washcloth? Come on. This one idiot thought she was ordering 48 rolls of toilet paper. She pushed the wrong button. She ended up with 48 boxes. And now she's like, what the hell? I'm sure those are going to go on eBay at $200 a case. What is this obsession that we have with toilet paper? My God, that's the least of my worries, running out of toilet paper. I can figure that out. I used to camp. We didn't have no fucking toilet paper. We got some leaves and wiped our ass. But oh my God, there's a virus out there and it's new and people don't know what the hell they're doing. And oh my God, how are we going to wipe our ass? Not the first thing that would come to my mind. There are some funny things out there though, like West Virginia. Now look, I love West Virginia. My viewers in West Virginia, I love you guys. You're awesome. And now you can give a huge fuck you to all the people all over the rest of this country who always make fun of West Virginia. And you know what people say about West Virginia. Oh, they marry their cousins. blah, blah, blah. West Virginia is the only state in America that does not have one case of coronavirus. Think about it. West Virginia. Now, I have some thoughts, and remember, this is just for jokes and laughs, like Lisa Lampanelli, with nothing but love for you. But first of all, I know why West Virginia doesn't have any cases of coronavirus. First of all, they can't afford to travel. It's a very poor state. It is, which is very sad. And second of all, nobody goes to West Virginia on purpose. See, it's not West Virginia that's for lovers. It's East Virginia. It's the other Virginia. I'm sorry, the one in the South. That Virginia is for lovers, which, by the way, brings me to Virginia. I just saw a commercial this morning. Virginia Beach is open. Come to Virginia Beach. Well, is Virginia Beach open? I mean, I don't know what their governor's doing, but if Virginia Beach is open, and the liquor stores are open, and the restaurants are open, and Virginia Beach is open, well, you know what? I'm going to get in my car and fucking go to Virginia Beach. Because I want to go someplace where people aren't losing their minds. The people who need to be careful right now, to be worried right now, are people who are older and who have health issues. I would never, at this point in time, walk into a nursing home and visit someone in a nursing home. I would not go to any of my, I have a cousin who is on oxygen. She has terrible lung issues. I would not go to her house and visit her. I don't have the virus. I'm fine. I'm perfectly healthy. I have no issues. But I still wouldn't do that because I don't know if I've been exposed. I mean, I think we've all been exposed. But I don't like this talking out of both sides of your mouth. It's okay to be cautious. It's okay to take precautions. But to lose your fucking mind, to run to the grocery store and stab somebody over a case of toilet paper, which, by the way, happened, to refuse to deliver groceries to people, which I'm doing a blog about over on Facebook, you'll have to see it there, where they refused to deliver a prepaid for grocery order because they didn't put the groceries aside and the shelves were empty. That's ridiculous for Walmart to do that. People are losing their minds because of what their government officials tell them. I was absolutely calm until I saw my governor on television, which is why my television is off. My television is off. I am stocked up. I have my alcohol. I have my cigarettes, which are the two most important things for me in a crisis, because that's what I do when I'm upset. When there's a crisis, I smoke and I drink. That's how I roll. But we have food. Our dog has food. We're fine. The worst thing that's going to happen is my husband's home all week. And I think that's what a lot of people are saying. That's probably the worst thing that's going to happen to you during this pandemic, this crisis. That you're going to have to spend more time with your kids and your spouse. You're probably going to nitpick at each other. You're going to argue because you're not used to being together so much. The kids are going to be bored. They say give the kids chores to do. Give them little projects to make them a little bit more calm. No, see, you try to give children in 2020 chores, they're going to be like, what the fuck? I ain't your slave. I need to play my Minecraft. I'm playing my Fortnite. I got games to play. I can't help with the dishes. So no, probably not a good idea. So that's going to be probably the worst thing that happens to most of us during this time. If you get sick, stay the fuck home. Take your chicken soup. I'll put a recipe up. I put a recipe up on Facebook. It's called avgalemino soup. It will cure everything. It's a great Greek soup. It's so soothing and delicious. Cure whatever ails you. Of course, the Jack Daniels helps too. So make sure you stock that. And the ouzo or the sambuca. Me, I prefer wine. And please, don't even talk that I'm sitting here getting drunk. I'm not. But I calm myself down with some vino, a good book, start reading books. Wouldn't that be a change? You have time to read. Turn the TV the fuck off. Get your updates from really reliable sources. Read it for yourself. Don't listen to this bullshit on the news. I was upset when I heard 47 confirmed cases in Pennsylvania. But then I went on the website and saw it's actually 6 with 41 presumptive. See, I don't like when people presume, because when the doctors presumed with me, they cost me a lot of money. They cost me a year of my life where I thought I had cervical cancer or might have it. That's stressful. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. When those doctors at Planned Parenthood assumed I had HPV, and by the way, told me my husband gave it to me, because HPV is sexually transmitted, causes cervical cancer. Men don't know they have it. They said, don't yell at your husband. He doesn't know he has it. And I had never had an HPV test. How could they presume I had HPV just because I had one positive pap smear after 25 years of normal pap smears? They assumed. They presumed. Presumptive cervical cancer. Well, you know what? I didn't take their bait. I didn't fall for their shit. When he told me I needed cryosurgery, I told him to go fuck himself. I told him I was going to Jamaica for 10 days and I was going to another doctor. And I'm here. I was back in 2006. If I had cervical cancer, don't you think I'd be dead by now? Because I haven't had any treatment. And by the way, my last pap smear was 2 years ago and it was completely normal, and my HPV test was negative. This is what happens when we use presumptive things and we report them as facts. Planned Parenthood presumed, took something presumptive, took that biopsy that said tissue insufficient for evaluation, and reported it to me as a fact. That's why now whenever I get a medical test done, I ask for the results in writing. I want to see the lab results for myself. I don't just want to hear it on the phone and hear what the doctor thinks or presumes. I want to see it in writing. And I suggest all of you do the same. So before you lose your minds, before you go stocking up on toilet paper that you probably will never use for the rest of your life because you'll have so much of it, unless you seriously have some bowel issues or something else going on other than coronavirus, before you do that, before you lose your mind, before you allow the government to start taking over your entire life, because once they do that, try getting your control back. Try forcing them then to relinquish the power that they're enjoying now that we have this virus going around. The virus that, by the way, for most people is not life-threatening. Most people don't need to be hospitalized for this virus, even if you get it. Remember that too, please. Go to reliable sources and read. Use your eyes and then use your mind. Read. Get the true numbers. Get the true facts. Right now in Pennsylvania, I have good news. 450 people tested, 200 were negative. That's half. Think about this. 1 in 3 women will get breast cancer. I like the stats that half the people tested in my state for coronavirus don't have it. But again, tests can be wrong. But that means the positive test could be wrong as well. Let's start trying to be more positive in our country about this virus instead of just reporting the bad news. Instead of almost celebrating when the numbers go up in order to stick it to President Trump. And I'm going to do one more show this week on this virus, and then I'm going off the virus completely. I'm going to do one more show because I don't like the way some people are saying this was not a foreign virus. Trump got in trouble for saying that. It is a foreign virus. And I'm going to explain that to you in my next show, which will be much shorter than this one. But I thought this one was it was a little bit serious, but hopefully a little bit entertaining. I hope I made you chuckle a little bit today. Smile a little bit today. We're all going to get through this. We're all going to be fine. 99.9% of us might get sick and get well or might not get sick at all. That swine flu thing, I didn't even hear about it in 2009. I never heard about anybody lose. I didn't know that 17,000 Americans died, 300,000 were in the hospital, 64 million Americans got the swine flu. I didn't hear anything about it. And I would have remembered. Remember, I'm a news junkie. I don't remember it being this big of a deal. And the numbers were astronomical. And swine flu was new as well. I don't remember having schools closed or grocery stores closed or restaurants closed or liquor stores closed. I don't remember any of that. So let's just put this in perspective. Yes, this virus can kill you, just like the flu can kill you, just like cancer kills you. We don't have a vaccine for cancer. More Americans will die of cancer this year than will die of coronavirus. More Americans will be diagnosed with cancer this year than will be diagnosed with coronavirus. What a shame. If cancer were contagious, maybe we'd have a vaccine for it. Political Paula, out. Please remember to laugh today.